Today, we're going to be talking about this training aid right here. This is the Gravity Fit TPro. It's one of the #1 training aids in golf, and it's used by a lot of touring professionals. I hope to answer 3 questions in this review. What is this device? Who is it for? And should you buy one? Let's do it right meow. Thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel. My name is Kenny. Some of you may know me as Kennie Kat. I am a competitive golfer, and this channel is dedicated to videos on how I am becoming a competitive golfer. Let's jump straight into it, because I want to talk about a training aid that I use with my coach, and I want to do a lot more videos on training aids from my perspective as an amateur golfer that uses training aids on how to get better. With this new format, I want to focus on following the same structure for all of my training aids that I review on this channel so I can give them a fair and as much of an unbiased review as possible. So we're going to focus on 5 main areas. The first one is going to be design and build quality. Obviously, we want to know, is this product built very well? Is it sturdy? Will it last? Second thing we're going to look at is the price. Money is important. We all spend a lot of money on this, and the price of the item is very important. Third thing we're going to look at is how easy is it to actually use this device. The fourth thing I want to look at is the feedback loop. And what I mean by that is how easy is it to actually learn from this device. And then the last criteria I will cover is, can this training aid or training device be replicated using basic tools that you may already own at home or have in your golf bag, or that can otherwise be easily purchased at maybe a hardware store? So here it is, the package that comes in. Let's break this bad boy out and go through some of the components. Now, I know this is a bit of a weird looking contraption, but this is basically a resistance band type of training aid or feedback device. And it's got these little back plates here, and the device goes around your body like so. And it's got little handles on the rubber grips that you put your hands into, and these little adjustable plastic things kind of go back up into your armpit like so. All right, and that basically sets the device in the back of your thoracic spine, T-spine, T-Fit Pro. That's why they call it T. The T is for thoracic. But it basically gives you this feedback feeling of the little orange or the little green thing that's kind of poking into your T-spine. And these little blades touch your shoulder blades to give you some awareness. You've noticed that you're getting contact points on the shoulder blades and the back, just kind of giving you some awareness of good body posture. The device also comes with 2 different types of kit. So there's a yellow band kit and a green band kit. So the yellow band is a lower resistance. It's actually designed to be used like throughout the golf swing and working with actual full swing movements. The orange band is a little stronger, and this is designed more for workouts and more resistance. The Gravity Fit TPro was founded by Dr. Carolyn Richardson. So she's like a movement kinesiologist. It's a training aid that's designed to give you immediate feeling on your golf movement by encouraging better posture. Let's talk about the build quality. All in all, it's resistance bands. So if I look at this device and how it's manufactured and how it's put together, I would say I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Am I gonna do this out of 10? Or am I gonna do this out of 5? I give it 5 stars in the build quality setting. The resistance bands in here are made of a very durable rubber. I think that the plastic is very durable. This is not something that's gonna easily break. These little inserts here are perfectly molded. And I know this comes out because you don't actually wear this when you do full swings. And changing out the bracket is pretty easy. Like, all of this stuff goes together with a very good, snap in, very good build quality. Now, the price of this is, and I'm just gonna check it on the website. I'm gonna go to Amazon, that's where I got it from. The entire kit with the green and yellow bands, which is what I purchased, is $119. And if you just want the yellow band, which is what you would use for full swing motions and practice swings, it's only $69. And if you just want the green band, it's $69. It's about the price of a round of golf. I think that's a pretty reasonable price for a training aid device, in my opinion. Now, let's talk about the ease of use. it's a little clunky to put on at first. Like, I'll be 100% honest. The first time I tried this, I was thinking like, what's going on with this contraption? Like, it looks a little ridiculous, it looks a little crazy, but once you get used to it and accustomed to it, it's pretty fairly straightforward and you kind of understand it. Another criteria, can it be replicated with basic tools that you have already at home, or in your golf bag, or in your gym, or in your garage? I'm gonna say no. It's definitely not something that you can make or that you've seen before. Like, you kind of have to own a Gravity Fit TPro in order to get this device. So it can't be easily replicated, which is a good thing. So let's spend some time talking about who this device is actually for. I think this is really designed for people who have active coaches, or really people who understand certain types of specific movements that they're trying to do or incorporate into their golf swing, because I don't think the average amateur could just pick this up and just understand how it's supposed to benefit them. That's definitely not who it's for. I'll show you exactly what I mean based off of how I've learned to use it using my PGA instructor, Big Kirk. I have a tendency to over-rotate this direction, which causes the club to get in all kinds of crazy positions and gives me a lot of lower back pain. If I set up to this device, and you can actually use it with the club, it's designed to just kind of fit inside of your thumbs here. If I set up to a device and I can feel the pressure of the plate on the back, I can get instant feedback if I go this way, because the slack starts to come out of the bands. So I can safely say that for that movement, it definitely works to keep my swing not from going too far over the top and just keeping it really in a good spot that Kurt and I are working on. But one of the biggest changes that I think this has helped me with, or can help me with, is this move that Kurt and I have been slightly working on to improve. As I'm set up to the ball, I've got a tendency to get that club coming in really far behind me, and I'll get it really laid off at the top, which causes me to get the club really shallow and coming from the inside. And then I'll overdraw shots, or I'll come too far from the inside and I will leave the face just square or just open, and I'll hit those targets straight right. There's a distinct feeling that I have when I pull on the back piece this way, where I can feel more of the lower spine being activated. When I take the club back on a more upper path, I feel a very even pressure from the right plate and the left plate. Who can use it? Pretty much all golfers. Like, I can't think of any golfer that does not need better stability or better awareness of their setup and how their body is moving as they move around with the club. I know that just by pulling on the strings and doing some air practice and really working mirror drills and just kind of working on my takeaway and working on my impact and getting a feel for how the plate pulls against my body, I know that I'm getting the club into a good position without actually having to hit balls. Before we get into feedback loop, let's actually get this bad boy out on the range and let's hit some shots, because I'm sure that's what you all want to see. It's like, can this thing actually work to improve my ability to strike the ball? Let's head over to the range and let's check out what that looks like. All right, back here at the range, we're gonna go ahead and get warmed up, and then I'm gonna take a look at this bad boy right here. Get warmed up to my process, throw this on, try a couple of shots with this, then do a little before and after, see how it really works out. Right. Get a really good test today because I am hitting them like absolute crap. When you're hitting full shots on the range, you don't need this little guy. You just pop it out like so. I'm gonna take my 8-iron here and I'm gonna go through my normal practice routine as if I would working with this, and then kind of give a little bit of feedback on what it feels like after. So my initial feelings of the TPro is that it definitely gives a lot of really great immediate feedback. Overall, I think my initial feelings of working with it on the range, I really like it. I feel like once you get into it and really kind of just accept it and just let the resistance bands kind of naturally move your body and work with it, Seems to work out pretty well. I was getting better flush shots towards the ends there. I'm gonna go through a few more sets of how I normally practice, where I do slow repetitious swings, and then I do a full swing, and then I take the device off and try to bleed or move that movement over into my natural swing. I'm gonna work on that for maybe 3-4 more reps. That last shot was absolutely flushed. All right, that was a pretty good set right there. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this bad boy off completely. I'm gonna hit a few more shots, just go through it, and then I'm gonna take a look at the before and after so I can notice any differences when I get back home and review the footage. But as heck out here, and I'm getting exhausted hitting these balls. I'm gonna head back home, talk a little bit about my final thoughts, and then give you a wrap up on this review. All right, and we're back. That was pretty fun. Sorry I had to cut that one short. It's like 105 degrees in Phoenix right now. I think all too often, and again, I'm gonna inject my opinion here. I never claim to be 100% unbiased, but I am gonna give my opinion. I think all too often, as golfers, we want like an immediate miracle pill or some like dramatic fix that's gonna like change our swing in a matter of 15 minutes. You know that's not happening, bruh. The Gravity Fit TPro is something that definitely helped me to hit a few quality shots in the short 45 minutes to an hour that I was using it. I think it has a lot of promise. Something like this, where you're talking about strengthening your movement and changing the way that your body is like moving a golf club, that's gonna take weeks and months of consistent use in order to get different movement patterns. And I think I will definitely give an update on how my progress has changed with the Gravity Fit Pro, as it's something that I'm definitely gonna keep in the training bag. Let's take a look at some of those swings with the Gravity Fit Pro. I will say that I didn't notice any extreme night and day differences, but I wouldn't expect that. My swing doesn't typically change in 45 minutes, as I've already explained, but there are a few things that I did notice. First of all, posture. I'm gonna go ahead and draw some quick lines. If this is being marketed as a posture awareness device or posture improvement device, which it is, then I would say the Gravity Fit TPro is 100% correct in that marketing assessment. I'm not saying have perfect posture is going to make you an amazing golfer, but having good posture is definitely not a bad thing if you're going to be utilizing your muscles for an athletic activity. The next thing that I want to look at is how the club travels around my body. And I didn't notice any glaring differences here, but there are a few things. Typically, I take the club too far from the inside for me, and I notice pretty similar takeaway patterns even with the Gravity Fit Pro on. I think it may be a little cleaner, but overall, it looks pretty much identical to me. As my arm gets to, let's just call it first parallel, I do notice that the club is a little bit less laid off with the Gravity Fit Pro on, so it's definitely changing my movement somewhat there as I'm getting the club to the top. We see exactly where the difference in the posture kind of comes into play. Practice swings where I was warming up, my body is and shoulders are a little bit more close to the target. My hands seem to be just a little bit higher at delivery, and my hips aren't as open, so I haven't quite rotated as well through the shot. Whereas on the right, my shoulders are very square to the target at impact, and my hips have started to be a little bit more open, which for me is going to give me the ability to deliver a little bit more power through the shot. But one of the things that I really noticed was the feelings that the Gravity Fit Pro gave me while I was doing my slow, intentional pre-swing movements to really ingrain in a certain feeling. So my first swing on the left is, again, without the Gravity Fit Pro, I've taken it off to do a normal swing. And as you can see, I'm going back to my normal inside takeaway delivery. But slow motion with the Gravity Fit Pro on the right, it's giving me that awareness to keep that club just a little bit more from coming on the inside. I thought that was pretty cool looking at the videos because I was not aware I was doing that. With the Gravity Fit Pro on, the sensation it's giving me is helping me to understand how to get that club and keep that club moving in the direction that I want it on that line. The final thing I want to talk about is the feedback loop. I'm a huge proponent of a feedback loop when you are learning. Learning how to do something correctly and then quickly being able to fail and process that information and have something that can give you immediate feedback so that you can better learn it. This is a great device for that. When the device is on you, you obviously get immediate feedback and the device is helping you. When you take the device off, you just flip the little things out of the hands and you can hit golf shots while still having some feedback, and then you can get the device completely off of you so that you can see if you can retain that information and also perform that same movement again. I think it's a perfect feedback loop device, and you can actually get that feedback with or without a golf ball. So definitely great in that category. Does it work? Yes, it does. It definitely will improve your ability to move your body, which in return will improve your ability to move the club, which in turn will improve your ability to strike the ball. Is it magically gonna fix all of your swing flaws? No. It's gonna require a lot of movement and a lot of practice and a lot of consistency in order for those movement patterns to become part of your natural swing. Would I use this device? Absolutely. Am I going to keep this device in the bag? Absolutely. This will be a consistent training device that I will use and continually give updates on how it has improved my swing. A few cons. It's a little fiddly as you're doing full swings with it. These straps become a little loose, which is to be expected. It's a resistance band. Oh, the only other thing was when this thing got delivered, there's like a little green nodule that goes in here. And I got it, I was missing one. So I emailed Gravity Fit Pro, and I was like, hey, can I buy another little green nodule to put in there? And they responded back very quickly. By the way, their customer support is fabulous. So let me just give them a thumbs up for that. Like, that was huge. Like, I responded in an email and got a response back in the same day, like 45 minutes later. She responded back and she's like, you don't really need those nodules in there. They're just there as like cosmetic, which to me is like, then why build it into the mold? Like, why not just not have them and make the device $5 cheaper? Like, as an engineer at heart, I'm like, why do you build things that have no function other than like aesthetically covering a hole? I mean, that's a really silly gripe, but I gotta have some cons. I can't just praise everything. Would I recommend that someone purchase this? Yes, if you understand exactly what you need to be doing with your golf swing, or you have an instructor that understands, I would hope your instructor understands it, or you're working with an instructor that's giving you specific movements, then absolutely. If you can't get to a range, I think this practice on working on motor skills is probably a lot better than just beating balls at the range. So I would absolutely recommend it for that. What else do I have to say about it? Gravity Fit Pro, bro. That's really all I got for you. Deuces, let's keep it moving.